My brothers and sisters, last night it was frogs I was in competition with. Tonight it's dogs. Even though we're on lockdown, there must be something that's aggravating them. But in the meantime, I want today to be celebrated for two different reasons. The first is I celebrate the memory of my mother. Today, August 3rd, she would have been 100 years of age, born August 3rd, 1920. And so she did die at age 73, so she's been gone for a good while. But this would have been her day to celebrate her 100th. And we do know some people who have made it. But I thank God for the years that I did have her in my life. And so today is my day to remember an awesome, wonderful woman I was privileged to have as my mother, and who has taught so many persons in the Bahamas and Bermuda and Jamaica on her journey as a primary teacher. My second area for celebration, of course, is Emancipation Day. That is what we are celebrating here in the Bahamas. And I had on some jewelry today without really thinking about it. But if you were to think about what emancipation means, what we are free from, then think of the chains that would have bound our ancestors. I had it on and it wasn't intentionally symbolic, but think of the chains. Think of what it was to be in bondage. Think of what it was to be owned by somebody. Think of what it was that you weren't free to marry, you weren't free to have civil liberties like voting, or you couldn't own property. You were property. And so when we think of Emancipation Day, it may seem like it's a long time that slavery was, a long time ago, and why bother to stay in the past? But we need to celebrate, my brothers and sisters, what our ancestors survived. We need to remember, and we need to be grateful for what we have. Sure, there's always more that we can want, always more that we can work toward. But we must also stop and say, thank God that we are where we are, we have what we have, and we are who we are becoming because of them. And so I pray that you will look at your life carefully. Where are you still in bondage? What still has you enslaved? I hope that you don't have serious debts. And of course, now with COVID, you can't even pay some of those things. You may have other things that are holding you back and holding you down, and how to ask God where you need to be set free and what's the most appropriate way to do that. So my brothers and sisters in Christ, I invite you to think of today and what this means, what it would have meant hundreds of years ago, and what it means today. And let our children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren appreciate the freedoms that they enjoy and not take them for granted. Protect them and utilize them. When it's time comes to vote, then vote. When it's time to worship, say thank God and go worship. When you are able to travel and it's safe and you wish and you can afford it, then enjoy the rest of God's creation. But know that these are privileges that many do not have. They do not share. And they would look at us with envy, jealousy, or just with longing and desire. Let us be grateful, and let us celebrate, and let us thank God for how far we have come, and ask God's grace and guidance for the road ahead. My brothers and sisters, God bless you. And remember to find the joy and the peace and the love and the beauty wherever you can. Celebrate what you can. And then we can work toward changing what needs to be changed. Take good care until tomorrow, God willing.